Hi everyone, I'm here today at Packington Fishery near Coventry, and I would like to talk to you through a method what's been forgotten about over the last few years, and that's the maggot feeder. I want to give you some of my hints and tips, and hopefully we'll catch you a few more fish as well. Right, tip one, I'm just going to load my feeder up now, and I'm going to cast out, and then I'm going to talk you through a bit of location, how long I leave my feeder out for, and where I find my next fish. So with any session I start, if it's a match or pleasure fishing, I always like to start off straight in front of me. Start at 12 o'clock, just because give you something to work on, especially when you've got an island in front of you. You can't carry on going any further. You need to go left or you need to go right. But what I normally do, especially with maggot feeder fishing, it's a little bit different to like method feeder fishing and pellet feeder fishing. Because you're only introducing a small amount of maggots every time, probably 30-40 maggots. A lot of these maggots are getting eaten by, hopefully some of them are getting eaten by F1s, silvers, some of them are wriggling into the silt. So every time you cast, you're never leaving a massive amount of bait on the bottom. It's a bit different when you're casting out and you're leaving pellets on the bottom or ground bait. So with maggots, I never feel like you're overfeeding your swim, especially when you're feeding up 30-40 maggots each time. Like I say, a lot of them are wriggling into the silt. There's a lot of silverfish in these lakes, so there's roach, perch. They're always nipping a couple away as well. So I'll always give my first chuck, well every chuck I always leave out there for 8 to 10 minutes. But a lot of your bites I always find are between 3 and 5 minutes. It just gives you that extra, giving that chance, leaving it in that one area for say 8 to 10 minutes. Then I'll have another chuck in that area for the same again in 8 to 10 minutes. If I don't get no bites or liners or any indication, that's when I'll look to go say 10 o'clock or I'll look to go at 2 o'clock, depending on the room and between you and the next angler as well. So if there's a bit more space to the right or to the left, I'll look to go into that space. Hopefully that's more of an holding area where the fish are going to be along the bank. Right, that one never took very long, did it? I'm just playing this fish now, and hopefully you'll be able to see how successful this maggot feeder fishing is. When I'm playing my fish as well, I always play off backwind. Because I'm fishing 012 hook length today as well, and a small 20 hook. Just want to give you every little chance. You may catch a carp, or some of these new fish in here can be a bit crazy. With using maggots, there's lots of different ways of putting them onto the hook. There's two different ones I use myself. One is putting them in the band. You can either use a single maggot in the band or two in the band, live or dead maggots. Or even if you wanted to, you could even make it like a bigger bunch of maggots, say 4 or 5. Then the other one is just straight hooking them. But there's a bit of benefit between the both. Banding the maggots, it just stops the maggots from flipping over themselves and coming over to the point, causes fish loss quite a bit, and also gives you that straighter fall. So with the two maggots falling straight, with the two maggots in the band, the line flat, so falling through the water looks a bit more natural than it does with the straighter hooking onto the hook. One more useful tip is you're tipping your rod. I always like to try and get away with a lightish tip as I can get away with, but sometimes the conditions are never allow you to fish a real light tip. Like the tip I got in my rod today is 1/2 ounce, but different weights of feeders and different wind conditions and the tow in the water sometimes don't allow you to fish a real soft tip. But with these F1s we're trying to fish for today, and the fishing with the inline feeder, the bites can be very shy, or you might get little plucks at the bait. so it's giving you very little indication, so you have to keep your eye on the tip all the time. So getting away with the softest tip as you can, you get to see all the indications, fish moving around in your swim, and just giving you that, when fish are pick the bait up, some fish are trying to spit the bait back out, so you can strike at these little small indications, what you sometimes would think was liners. And that one was a bit ferocious, that bite. It weren't a little tap, it was quite a big pull round, but with, like I said, with the inline feeder, everything's so free. As soon as I pick it up, it indicates on the tip straight away. Feels like a nice size F1 as well. And every bite today has literally been within the first 2 to 4 minutes. It hasn't been taking much longer than that. Been some nice size F1s as well. When the going gets tough in the winter months, introducing pinkies into your feeder instead of using maggots, and putting pinkies on the hook as well and scaling down your hook lengths can also catch a lot of fish. Also brings in a few more silvers, but also bringing in the silvers into your peg also brings the other fish, i.e. the carp and the F1s as well. Today I'm using the new FXT Quick Link Swivel. I use this to connect my hook length to my main line. But when using baits like maggots, when you cast out and you're retrieving your feeder, it causes a propeller twist. So when you're retrieving it, it makes a lot of twist in your hook length. With this swivel, it takes all that twist out, stops your hook length from kinking over, and you'll be able to fish a lot quicker again. Right, my final tip of the day for the maggot feeder is feeding. What I mean by feeding, sometimes when you've caught a few at the same spot most of the day, or you need to indications die up, you need to look for a new spot, or you may need to move left, right, or up or down the shelf. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to fill the feeder back up. I'm going to go a bit to my left. This could be a bit different sometimes because you may have an angler to your left, or it might be some more room. So I always like to look for the most room, and that room's your own then. If you're trying to chuck towards an angler, you're sharing the fish as well. So just giving yourself that bit more of a chance, and hopefully the fish are backed off to that space. I'm going to go to the left, but what I'm going to do, I'll chuck out for you now. I'm only going to leave this feeder here a couple of minutes, a minute to 2 minutes. I may catch a fish straight away, but what I'm going to do, I'm leaving that feeder there for a couple of minutes, is just letting the maggots release out the feeder. And after that, I'm going to retrieve it and chuck it back to the spot I was already in. It may have rested the swim I was fishing. It may have pushed a few more fish back into the air because you've put that feeder to the left. It might have brought them back over to the right. But just putting some bait into the peg, it's leaving a trap then for the next fish. So when you've come off this swim now after a couple of minutes, gone back in, I may have another 8 to 10 minutes on that other line, no more indications or bites or another fish. I look to go to that left hand swim again, hopefully with a couple of maggots on the bottom, my feeder back over the top again, and hopefully there'll be another fish waiting, I can catch another one. And hopefully all my tips today have helped you, and hopefully you've seen a nice bag of F1s at the end.